2 finals MVPs, and people are still talking like this about the Slim Reaper.
If you ain't driving the bus, don't walk around and talk about you a champion.
Whatever Chuck says, the guys who are still in the arena every night suiting up against this unicorn have a lot more to say. His career has been filled with drama, controversy, a couple burner accounts, and oh yeah, a lot of buckets. And these guys know it best. This is how NBA players really feel about Kevin Durant. Stay until the end to hear what a legend had to say about the Slim Reaper.
To me, he's so disrespectful with his game.
You might not remember, since Jimmy has evolved into way more than just a wing defender, but when he first came into the league, that was his only job, locking down dudes on D. He was asked who was toughest to guard when he came into the league, and took the chance to humble brag a little bit.
Who probably you wasn't expecting though, not like one of the big name dudes where it was
it's never who I'm not expecting, because every time I played, I always had to guard the big name guy.
Right.
Like, so whether it was Kobe or whoever it was.
And his answer is not going to shock you.
I would say KD the first time that I lined up against him, man. Just because, to me, he's so disrespectful with his game, because he's 7 feet and he can shoot over anybody. You know what I mean? So he'll be like, yo, good D. Like, what can you do? He's shooting fadeaways off one leg.
What can you do when a 7-footer plays like Steph?
Dribbling. Hey, all you can do is look over at the bench and be like, yo, guard him.
I look at him crazy like, you want to?
The next guy is never matched up against KD on defense, but he knows a thing or two about what it's like to be unstoppable.
I don't know, man. It just looks too easy.
Luka, by the way, should be jealous of nobody on the offensive side of the ball, but when you squad up against a guy like KD, it's hard not to get a little envious.
But I think number one is KD, man. When I watch him play, it just looks way too easy. It's just unbelievable, man.
Does he make this? We talk about this with him a lot. But how easy it is for him to score, does that ever, even for somebody like you, make you a little bit envious that he can just do whatever he wants all the time?
I think everybody feels like that, man. It's just, I don't know, man. It just looks too easy. Like, if you see him, you can say everybody can do it, but only he can do it, man. It's just unbelievable the way he scores the ball.
Imagine how it felt when that dude joined a 73-win team.
But when you guys got the news that KD was joining the Warriors, what was that group chat like?
That's how it was, bro. It was just like,
because you're gonna have to see them in the finals.
I'm like, for what? That's how we all looking like, huh? Then we like, well, what Russ got to say about it? That's what we all. What Russ finna say about this shit? This shit is crazy.
KD beat Shumpert, alongside a few other names, in the next 2 finals. After the Warriors blew up in 2019, KD went to Brooklyn, where he tried, and failed, to recreate a super team. But this former Rookie of the Year got to see what Durant was like up close and personal.
He does stuff all the time where you're just like, what? How did he just...
Sometimes there are no words. But what was the most impressive part of his game?
It's just it's honestly the stuff that's most impressive to me is like the, dribble, like pull up mid-range where the hand is faced and just hit it. It's not really like it is like the spin move, like the tough shots like that. That's all tough, but he just is so unaffected by any defender. I have never seen a player be less affected by somebody than Kevin Durant.
That's pretty much the consensus. It doesn't matter what the defense does. He is unaffected. Unaffected by everything but bad press, that is. Though when you link up with superstar after superstar, what do you expect? Hear what his latest superstar teammate had to say, because it might change your mind about the misunderstood legend.
I mean, exactly what you just broke it down, basically. Like, you're just dealing with a guy that, really loves his craft, and, for me to be a really big fan first, I had a tweet from 2011. I said,
oof, old tweets can be the end of a guy. But what he said about KD might really get him in trouble.
I had a tweet from 2011. I said, Kevin Durant's my favorite player, but LeBron's the best.
You heard it from his teammate first. LeBron is better than KD. But seriously, there's a reason KD is a legend, and it's more than just talent.
Hearing those type of stories about how obsessive he is with his work and how he gets after and how much of a hoops junkie he is. And then for all those stories to be living up and him surpassing those, and you really find out that he only cares about hoops is like, it's a match for me.
Greatness takes dedication and passion, and KD has that to spare. The next guy, not so much, but he can still get buckets.
I love KD. Like, I mentioned it so many times. Like, I think I can do everything on the basketball court.
Okay, sick, Joel, but what about KD?
And if there's someone else that can do the same stuff and better, that's probably one guy that I would think about.
Yeah.
Because, he's just so freaking talented and so good, whether it's scoring the ball or whatever he's able to do on the basketball court. So I have a lot of respect for him, but I love playing with him. He's always talking trash for no reason sometimes. Like, he make a bucket and he's talking trash. Like, that's just the way he plays. Like, I love his intensity.
They may not play much of the same style, but both know how to dominate the offensive side of the ball at times. For all of their faults, both KD and Embiid are insane competitors. Guys who the next generation of superstars can look up to. Guys like...
Playing against KD, I think, was kind of my little welcome to the NBA moment.
Paolo Banchero, the guy who took a bottom-feeding team to the playoffs in his second season, is the most underrated player of this new generation. But he knows to respect the vets, especially when they have KD's bag.
NBA moment. I guarded him for most of that game, and it was really just nothing you could do. I mean, some guys get to the line a bunch, or play with the refs and get calls, and that's how they get 14 points from the line or whatever. But KD was straight business. Wasn't saying nothing to the refs. Was getting to the line. I think he hit 4 or 5 free throws, but he had 45. So most of those was buckets, and I think he missed 5 shots that game. And so just experiencing that and having to guard him and just kind of being he was the first player I think I've guarded in my life where it was there's nothing I could do. Usually a guy can make some shots on me, but I can fluster him a little bit. I can, get into him, make a miss here and there. But that was just he don't even see me right now. I'm trying to cut him off. He's just out there no, I'm still going to get to this spot. I'm still going to rise up. So it was crazy, man.
So the young guys say KD is the hardest to guard. The old guys say KD is the hardest to guard. But what about the previous generation? What do they have to say about the Slim Reaper?
Who's
By
the toughest
far.
guy to defend?
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Kobe Bryant, one of the 10 best players of all time, one of the best defensive players of all time, one of the most psychotic players of all time who refused to admit anyone was better than him, said Kevin Durant was the hardest player to guard by far. Case closed.
Okay.
Kevin Durant. That was the one that I retired without really having to being able to figure out what it is that he, how I can stop him.
Why?
When he first came in the league, he was easy to defend because he couldn't go right and shoot. You should kind of shoot across his face. So that was a weakness that he had. Also in the post, he couldn't turn left shoulder. Everything was right shoulder. So that gave me areas that I could shut off. Right? And then he started developing it. And now he can pull up left, he can pull up right. He can shoot the long ball. He has runners, left hand, right hand. Before he had a left hand finish at the rim, I could always send him left, force him all the way to the basket. Even with the advantage of his size, he was still uncomfortable finishing with his left. So I could clamp the right hand and now force him into tough situations. But now he developed that. So then I couldn't really figure out, is this a rhythm thing? I'm trying to count the seconds that he takes to make his moves. When does he make them? At what times in the game? I couldn't really figure out that rhythm yet. So I retired not being able to figure him out.
What do you think about KD? Overrated, underrated, bus rider, or bus driver? Let us know in the comments and watch one of these videos next. Listen to The Wrong Opinion, useless NBA trivia, and garbage rankings for more NBA content.